machine, no matter how powerful, truly defy a god. In one corner, the pinnacle of human ingenuity, a 2,000-ton titan of steel and swagger built to cancel the apocalypse. In the other, a primordial alpha predator, an ancient force of nature whose atomic fire has burned since the dawn of time. Humanity's champion versus the king of the monsters. This is a clash of epics, where the fate of the world is forged in fire and steel. Welcome, tactical analysts. Today's simulation pits two icons of colossal combat against one another. In one corner, we have Godzilla, specifically the incarnation from Legendary's MonsterVerse, scaled to his peak physical condition. This is the Alpha Titan, the king of the monsters, a walking nuclear reactor and a force of nature personified. His challenger is the legendary Mark-3 Jaeger, Gipsy Danger, hero of the Kaiju War. We are analyzing the machine as depicted in the 2013 film, Pacific Rim, piloted by a fully synced Ranger duo and operating at maximum efficiency. Their battle arena is the neon-drenched cityscape of Hong Kong's Victoria Harbor. The deep water channels offer mobility, while the towering skyscrapers present both immense collateral damage and potential strategic assets. The rules of engagement are absolute. Victory is achieved only by death, incapacitation, or forced retreat of the opponent. Both combatants are at peak power and are battle ready. Let's begin the tactical breakdown. First, the Alpha Titan, Godzilla. Physical specifications. Standing at a colossal 120 meters, or 394 feet, and weighing an astronomical 99,634 tons, Godzilla is a walking mountain. His immense mass and low center of gravity make him an anchor of pure force, incredibly difficult to unbalance or move against his will. Offensive capabilities. His primary weapon system is the atomic breath. This is not mere fire. It is a hyper-concentrated blast of radioactive plasma. We've clocked its power as sufficient to bore through the planet's crust to the hollow Earth and overwhelm King Ghidorah's gravity beams. At close range, he is a savage brawler, utilizing his immense strength, razor-sharp claws, and a tail that moves with whip-like speed to shatter buildings and bone. In dire circumstances, he can unleash a thermonuclear nuclear pulse, an omnidirectional wave of energy that incinerates everything in its immediate vicinity. Defensive capabilities. Godzilla's hide is his armor, spam, a dense lattice of scales capable of absorbing staggering amounts of punishment. He has proven impervious to conventional military weaponry, from artillery to bunker-busting bombs. This durability is coupled with a powerful regenerative factor. Fueled by radiation, he can heal from wounds that would be fatal to lesser titans, as evidenced by his recovery from the oxygen destroyer's zero-oxygen environment after being supercharged by a nuclear warhead. Critical weaknesses. Despite his power, Godzilla is not without vulnerabilities. The gills on his neck are a known weak point. Coordinated attacks by the Mutos in 2014 were able to pierce the skin there, drawing blood and causing significant pain. Furthermore, his atomic breath, while devastating, is a finite energy source. Sustained use will drain him, forcing a reliance on physical combat as he internally recharges. Now, for the challenger. The Mark-3 Jaeger, Gipsy Danger. Physical specifications. Gipsy stands 79 meters, or 260 feet tall, with a combat weight of 1,980 tons. What it lacks in sheer mass compared to Godzilla, it compensates for with a humanoid frame built for agility, leverage, and advanced combat techniques. Offensive capabilities. Gipsy is a brawler at heart. Its mainstays are the rocket-propelled elbow rocket for devastating kinetic force and the I-19 plasma caster, a ranged energy weapon that fires charged particles capable of searing kaiju flesh. For terminating threats, it deploys its ultimate weapon, the twin GD6 chainswords. These massive, steel obsidian alloy blades are designed for one purpose: to slice through the toughest armor kaiju biology can produce. Defensive capabilities. Gipsy's hull is forged to withstand both extreme pressure and kinetic impact. It has endured atmospheric re-entry and close-range combat with Category 4 Kaiju. Evans. Its analog nuclear core also grants it a crucial immunity to EMP-style attacks. In a grapple, it can vent its liquid coolant as a cryogenic weapon, flash freezing and shattering kaiju limbs to create tactical openings. Critical weaknesses. The Jaeger's primary weak point is the con pod. A direct, sufficiently powerful strike to the head unit can compromise the cockpit, incapacitate the pilots, and render the machine inert. Its massive weight disparity is also a critical tactical factor. It cannot win a contest of pure brute strength against Godzilla. Finally, it is a machine. Damage is cumulative and permanent within a battle. It cannot regenerate severed limbs or repair a breached power core. The simulation begins. Act 1. Initial engagement. A klaxon blares from a listing cargo ship as Godzilla rises from the harbor, displacing thousands of tons of water. Across the channel, Gipsy Danger ignites its turbines, striding forward to meet him, its metallic footfalls shaking the Kowloon Peninsula. Gipsy strikes first, firing a rapid succession of blasts from its plasma caster. The bolts of charged energy impact Godzilla's chest, creating explosive flashes, but doing little more than scorching his ancient hide, a testament to his incredible durability. Godzilla retaliates, not with energy, but with brute force. A sweeping tail strike. Gipsy raises its arms outibus to block, but the sheer kinetic force of the 99,000-ton Titan is too much. The Jaeger is thrown back hundreds of feet, crashing through the facade of a skyscraper. Its lighter weight class is an immediate and glaring disadvantage. Act 2. Escalation. The pilots realize a ranged battle is a losing proposition. Gipsy closes the distance, using its rocket-assisted stride to turn the brawl into a close-quarters fight. It grabs Godzilla, attempting to use its humanoid form for leverage, and lands a direct hit with its elbow rocket to the Titan's jaw. Godzilla roars in fury, and his dorsal fins begin to glow with that unmistakable, ominous blue light. He's charging the atomic breath. Reacting instantly, the pilots identify the known vulnerability from the tail of the tape. Gipsy shoves its hand against Godzilla's neck and vents its entire cryogenic coolant supply directly onto his gills. The thermal shock is immense. Godzilla recoils, sputtering, his atomic charge interrupted. This is the opening the Jaeger was built for. The sound of grinding metal. The twin GD6 chainswords deploy from Gipsy's arms. The tide of the battle appears to shift. Act 3. The decisive blow. Gipsy Danger lunges, bringing the massive swords to bear. One blade slashes deep across Godzilla's thigh, the other bites into his shoulder, tearing through hide and muscle. For the first time, the Titan roars in genuine pain. The obsidian alloy blades are succeeding where plasma failed. But the attack is not a killing blow. and pain awakens a deeper, more primal fury in the Alpha Titan. Before Gipsy can press its advantage, Godzilla grabs the Jaeger's arms with his own immense claws. The Jaeger's hydraulics scream under the strain but cannot compete with raw, bioatomic power. The metal of Gipsy's forearms begins to buckle and crush. Pinned and overpowered, the Jaeger is defenseless as Godzilla's maw opens once more. He fires the atomic breath at point-blank range, not at the armored head, but directly at Gipsy's center mass, its nuclear heart. The beam shears through the Jaeger's torso like a hot knife through butter, causing a catastrophic reactor breach. Gipsy Danger goes limp, its lights dying as its upper half, molten and severed, slides from its legs and crashes into the dark waters of the harbor. The victor of this engagement is, decisively, Godzilla. The core logic of this outcome rests on a fundamental disparity in durability and raw power output. Gipsy Danger was a magnificent machine, and its pilots fought with tactical brilliance. The use of the cryogenic vent to exploit Godzilla's gills was a masterstroke, and the chain swords proved capable of inflicting grievous wounds. But Gipsy was built to terminate the Kaiju of its own universe. Creatures that, while immensely powerful, are a tier below this Alpha Titan. The Jaeger's win condition required a perfect, incapacitating strike with its swords while avoiding Godzilla's primary weapon. Godzilla's win condition was simply landing one full power blast of his atomic breath. The Jaeger's armor could not withstand a direct hit from a weapon capable of boring to the planet's core. It was a contest between a weapon that could hurt the king and a king whose very breath could vaporize the weapon. We assessed that in 10 simulated encounters, Godzilla would be victorious 9 times. Gipsy's sole victory would depend on a low probability scenario where its initial sword strike severs the spinal column or decapitates the Titan instantly. What if the pilots had targeted the head instead of the chest with that final, fearsome, desperate attack? While the con pod is Gipsy's weak point, Godzilla's skull is incredibly dense. The more likely outcome would have been a glancing blow, leaving the Jaeger in the same catastrophic, point-blank position. Our analysis is complete, but the debate is just beginning. Do you agree with our verdict? Could the Rangers have employed a different strategy to overcome the Alpha Titan's raw power? Post your own tactical breakdown in the comments below. What clash should we analyze next? Head over to our community tab to vote in the poll. Will it be Godzilla versus the world-ending might of Iris from the Gamera universe? Or a true clash of kings? MonsterVerse Godzilla versus Shin Godzilla? If you value this analysis, subscribe and activate notifications so you never miss a mission briefing.